Joy Badass performed this new single, ABK, on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Look, I'm a supporter of Joy Badass, so I was anticipating this performance, but Joy, you let me down. You let me down. You went up there with choreographed dance moves. For me, bro, you seem like Hakeem Lyon. And yeah, bro, I see a gray mixed with Glorilla, fam. It ain't you, Joey. It's like a watered down version of Neek that you trying to portray, fam. Just being honest, just being real. Look, the single was horrible. You know what I mean? If the album sounds anything like the single, you could have keep it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could keep that shit, fam. Niggas want to hear that Jesus shit. See you through my Jesus, Jesus. Yeah, niggas want to hear that type shit. You know what I mean? But this new shit, it's 2025, man. People changing the game up. Yeah, people changing the game up. Joy, go back to what you was, what you once was, fam. And that suited you. Dame Dash facing jail time over a $4 million debt. Bro, that's why you gotta watch what you say about people. Yeah, don't say it if you don't think it to be true or you don't use allegedly in that, because they could take all your shit. This is what happening to Dame Dash. He's been summoned to federal court for failing to turn over ownership documents. He missed the deadline for the U.S. Marshals to be able to auction off all his assets to satisfy that $4 million judgment against him. Look, they saying there's no compliance and history of delay. You know what I mean? Look, bro, they saying that if he don't turn in that paperwork soon, he will face even more financial ruin, or a warrant would just be issued for his arrest. Look, this is $4 million for all the people that Dame made millionaires, bro. Dig in your pockets and help this man. This is nothing. Couple 100,000 for everybody. That man will be right. You know what I mean? I can see why Dame is ducking this. Who wants to lose all their shit? Travis Scott accused of copyright infringement. Look, a group, Pixel Grip, a band from Chicago, say Trav sampled their song Pursuit on his new Jack Boy 2 album, Kick Out specifically, that track. Sampled they shit, fam. And it's like, they're kind of pissed off, bro, because they say they just ground level any type of attention from Travis to let him know that, let the people know you're fucking with it, fam. Not listening in private, liking it, and stealing the sampling the shit and taking it. Like, bro, they just trying to make something happen. All it could have been an Instagram story. It could have been these people are hot, check him out. Any type of promotion would have been good promotion for him, but to just steal that and take that and use it on your new album, come on, fam, that ain't cool. Chav responded, his team responded. They say lawyers will be reaching out soon, fam. Come on, man, you gotta make things right. Ja Rule throwing shots at 50 Cent. 50 Cent say, ain't nobody going to see you, Ja Rule. Like, ain't nobody going to see you, Otis. It even started a little trend on TikTok where everybody asking each other, hey, you going to that Ja Rule concert? Well, look here. Ja Rule has responded. Ja Rule said, imagine trying to clown somebody that's currently on tour making six figures a show. Take notes like you always been doing, but this is what a real performer looks like. Look, Ja Rule is on his North American tour, Water Party at, with Nelly and Eve. They said he's killing it. I didn't even know he was still performing. I swear to God, I didn't know Ja Rule was still out there performing. But the performances look good, fam. I gotta admit, that man had some of the best songs back in the day, fam. You can't cancel him out like that when it comes to hip hop. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Vinny Vetta Vici was one of my first CDs I ever owned, fam. Baby shocks fans with new thigh tattoos. Yeah, with his new thigh tats. Originally, he said he didn't want to get no tattoos because he didn't want to look thuggish. And he got some tattoos, but they're so not thuggish. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. The man opted into getting thigh tats. thigh tats with hoochie daddy shorts and that tight mustard shirt, man. Come on, little baby. A lot of people say Atlanta not even trying to, he's from Atlanta, boss. Like Atlanta not even trying to hide it no more. Look, read between the lines what I'm saying about that. No diss to him, you know what I mean? But you start with sleeves and socks and shit and fill in. You go there when you just want to have everything filled in. You don't go to thigh tats first, bro. You don't go. That's all the yes men around. Don't even tell. It ain't about what it looks like. It's about what it is. You know what I mean? It's point blank period, bro. You do not go to thigh tats first. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Drop it in the comments. Destroy Lonely fan hospitalized after a crazy stage dive. This was at Romania's annual Beach Please Festival. Look, he told him to jump. He jumped, bro. A lot of people was thinking he was going to attempt to crowd surf or something like that, but it was no way. If you would have seen how much distance was from that stage to where that man jumped to, you would have knew he couldn't clear it. So I don't know what he was trying to do. I guess just dive off the stage. Well, look, he did. He fell 3 meters onto a steel barricade, hospitalized, lung contusion, liver damage, and potential kidney failure. Look, bro, you gotta take care of your fans. I don't know what he was chanting. This man is only 15 years old, so he's up there. He's just a fan. He's fan out. He's not thinking about what he's doing. Something is being chanted in his ear. He jumped, you know, he jumped. It was the worst decision that kid could have ever made. Look, bro, y'all got to watch y'all kids. Even when y'all send them to a concert, they're not safe. History already showed us this. Drop it in the comments, man. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. I don't know Destroy Lonely. I just know he went to a fashion show recently and he has spandex on. You know, ain't my type of fella. Just being honest, just being real. Drop it in the comments. Scores from the playground. Acorn building a futuristic crypto-powered city in Africa. 550 hectares of land. That's about 1,359 acres in Mobadine, Africa. Look, the Senegalese government has said, allegedly, they were scrapping the project. They taking that land back. Look, Acorn say that is not true. It is still on. This futuristic city is going to be something like Wakanda. What it's going to do for Africa is going to be tremendous. He say they want anything to try to stop this, even providing misinformation, but don't listen to it. It's all cap. It's still on. Look, I got to see this motherfucker. Yeah, I'm not trying to move there. I just got to see this, fam. A futuristic, crypto-powered city in Africa. And we're not talking about South Africa. I believe this man going to North Africa with this. Drop it in the comments, man. Scores from the playground. Shout out Acorn. Look, Raekwon released the Emperor's New Clothes album. 17 tracks, his first album in nearly a decade, fam. Ghostface Killer, Method Man, Nas. I think Inspector Deck on there. I'm not sure, you know what I mean? But the album actually came out. I know a lot of people were waiting on Ghostface Killer album. I don't know if that one actually dropped, but this one is out there, fam. Look, Nas, this release do mass appeal, bro. Nas is doing big things, man. Doing good business because he's bringing all the legacy acts back and giving them a new album, you know what I mean? Giving them a platform to release a new album, you know what I mean? A way to release it. Look, shout out Nas, shout out Raekwon, same day, his Astoria smoke shop getting closed down. You know what I mean? Wasn't making no money. Dispensary, my bad. But it's getting closed down. Apparently it wasn't making no money. They're giving them till August 1st to get out of there. Look, that's just how they work, bro. You can't do good, too good. They gonna try to pull that rug from under you some type of way, man. Some type of way. Look, drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Look, Joy Badass announces a release date for his Lonely at the Top album. You know what I mean? It's his 4th studio album. He just previewed the track ABK on Jimmy Fallon Live when he was talking about you talking his shit in the track, fam. The track was extremely lackluster. I felt like he was dancing like Hakeem Lyon mixed with Glorilla. The moves was too choreographed. I didn't recognize him like that. I'm hoping the album gonna be way better. Like before I say it's lackluster, I gotta actually listen through it, through it, and not skim through it. You know what I mean? Real shit. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Right now, I don't know what he coming with, because each album is like he's trying to find himself. Like you should as an artist. But you know, from that first mixtape, I expected that joy. I don't know this new guy. You know, I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Look, the album coming out August 1st. We gotta give it a listen. I'm just being honest, just being real before I finally critique where he's going. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Look, Glorilla performing at the 2025 WNBA AllStar game. She's doing the halftime show. She's headlining the halftime show. Now, this is a big thing for Big Glow, because July 25th, and you know, this is tomorrow. The AllStar game is tomorrow, by the way. But July 25th, her first annual Glow Bash kicks off. Yeah, FedEx Forum in Memphis. It's going down. Sexy Red gonna be there. What's his name? Boss Man D-Lo gonna be there. If you like him, you know what I mean? He's gonna be there. Look, they gonna be rocking. You know what I mean? But right now, it's that halftime show. Look, she's doing big things, bro. This is gonna be on ABC, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus. Man, this is in Indianapolis. July 19th is going down. Look, she's doing big things, bro. And I got to say, her music is actually fire, bro. Fire. You just got to give it a listen. Look, Shannon Sharpe's sexual assault lawsuit has been dismissed. Look, Gabrielle Zuniga originally wanted $10 million, and she was going to just keep it quiet, keep it on the hush. He didn't want to pay her. Turns out she ended up eventually asking for $50 million, and it blew up his life, even shut off some opportunities that he could have had. Look, bruh, he had to pay her behind the scenes. Yeah, it was better to just give about 15 million, maybe 17 million, just to meet her somewhere right there, but just to let it go. Let it go in hopes that it would disappear. Look, once it's out there, it's out there, fam. Yeah, once it's out there, it's out there. It ain't saying you didn't do it. It's just saying you paying hush money. Unfortunately, in 2025, fool, everything goes viral, you know what I mean? So it's no way to do it on the low. Yeah, it ain't looking good for old Shannon Sharpe still. This lawsuit dismissed, but what does that mean in this situation if you know he paid? I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Drop it in the comments. Scars from the... Look, DJ Vlad throwing shots at Nicki Minaj. He say she's the definition of money can't buy happiness. Look, money can't buy happiness. You know, point blank, she's not the definition of it. It's just the facts. Money cannot buy happiness. Once you get enough of that shit, it doesn't make you happy anymore. It starts to be like, oh, it's just money. That's how you get a guy like Kodak Black. Kodak Black doesn't really care about the money. Just know he needs it. You know what I mean? Yeah, money, it doesn't buy happiness. Vlad, what are you talking about? She's the definition of, no. She just kept her little shit on the low for too long that now she's actually strong enough to talk about it, man, because it's nothing. She want to go at Jay-Z. She want to go at SZA. Doesn't make her crazy. It just makes her vocal. You know what I mean? She's vocalizing what's been going on, bro. And she ain't losing off of shit, losing a rocker. She's chilling, bro. She's very happy. But the money didn't make her happy. She made herself happy. This is how life works. Drop it in the comments, fam. Scars from the play. Look, Kirk Cobain's. And we talking about the rapper from Houston. We're not talking about the rock star. He's throwing shots at Drake. He's implying Drake somehow stole his style. You know, he denied him stealing his style. He said, well, maybe he just motivated by the way he was living in Houston and how he was rocking. So he just took that and ran with it. Let's just do a feature or something. Look, Kurt Randall, you're a goddamn liar. You're a goddamn liar. Your comeback season came out in 07. Almost Gone came out in 09. What's Your Name Is didn't drop to 2011, bro. You was at Lamar University studying the best I ever had. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. Let's just get off the gas. Like, I guess the fans went to his head and felt like they have been comparable. Come on, man. You know where that started at. Drake gave you an avenue to go get you some money. Best thing you could say is thank you. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. Will Smith building an underground bunker in Los Angeles, man. Look, Miley Cyrus' mama kind of let the cat out the bag when she was talking about the LA tunnels. A lot of people don't believe in the LA tunnels. They think it's not true. It's no tunnels leading underground. Look, it's tunnels everywhere, bro. This is Earth. You know what I mean? On Earth, yeah, it's underground. You know what I mean? They dig up and build shit all the time. So yes, there are tunnels. Well, look here, Will Smith apparently has him an underground bunker. He's ready for whatever might happen. Look, money is power. Man, I say that because as you get more money, you get more power. You get access to the secrets that's really bigger than you. You know what I mean? Yeah, money gets you there. Money gets you information, bro. That's why it's best to get your paper. You got to know what's going on. You ain't gonna know what's going on because they want to keep the broke ignorant. The have-nots ain't supposed to have the information, fam. Yeah, you got to get you some money to get this information, but in order for the have-nots to get the money, the have-nots got to be unified, fam. Drop it in the comments, man. Can I get an amen? I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. That's what I've been doing. Scars from the playground, drop it in the comments, fam. Peace.
If they throw it, I'ma catch it to play the game like Tetris. I'm one of a kind rap, people tell me I'm a clip. I've been working 24 hours, summertime to winter. I ain't really at the chill, it gotta be about business.